Now, I have another question regarding sign-offs. Can you please explain how to prevent a sign-off from being removed by another user? For example, if I have prepared a working paper and I sign off as role 1, can we prevent the reviewer from removing my sign-off inadvertently? Now, as long as the user has authority to sign off the role in question, they'll have the ability to clear another user's sign-off. The only way to prevent a sign-off from being removed by another user is to incorporate protection into your files and prevent the user from accessing specific roles. If they don't have the ability to sign off a specific role, they'll not be able to remove another user's initials and sign-off date for that role. However, if the user is assigned to that role, they will be able to remove the initials. So we would start off with the Caseware Data Store Administration tool that allows us to create either an X-based data store or an SQL database for your data store. Smaller firms of 30 users and under should consider using the X-based data store because it's easier to set up and manage. Larger firms should use the SQL data store because it can handle more and frequent hints to the data store database. Once your data store is created, you save the connection file by clicking on the Save button and provide that connection file to all your users of Caseware Working Papers. For each Working Papers user, they run the connection file on their computer to associate their Working Papers installation with the data store. Now, I've already set up an X-based data store that I'm using for my example, so I'm going to close here. The data store is going to house the user information, which can be imported from the LDAP using the Data Store Administration tool. With user information synced into the data store database, an administrator then opens Caseware Working Papers without a client file, open, and selects Tools, Protection Setup to create the global security profile. Now, they must log in as a supervisor to see this information, and here I have several groups set up already. Now, Nate is assigned to GG3, and if I go into the properties here under the rights for my documents, we can see that he's only allowed to sign off on role 1, and he's not allowed to sign off documents without being assigned to it, nor is he allowed to sign off in any of the other roles. So with security turned on, we can control whether or not the user has the ability not only to sign off on that role, but also to remove a role from another user.